Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. And good morning on what is probably the strangest morning I've had in a while. So I woke up super duper late and thought that I wasn't going to have an opportunity to do a video for you today. So we're going to do a soulmate snapshot. It'll be a little bit quicker and it won't have an extended on the back of it. But once I started to also, as I'm brushing my teeth and everything and kind of getting ready, I started to note that there was a consistency in the messages that I've gotten from you guys. And so we're going to look into what this like bubble in the energy, or what is this sudden uptick in the energy that feels like it's happened between the two of you. So it's been retract, 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 and then all of a sudden kind of this uptick. So that's what we're going to look at today. Like I said, it'll be a soulmate snapshot. It will be a general reading for this collective, so it won't resonate with everyone. But if it resonates with you, then by all means, subscribe, hit like, maybe check out some of the other videos because they're all very much connected. So here we go with the basic energy that's flowing with you guys at this time, because that's one of the things that seems to be it's all about connection. It's all about that feeling of connection between the two of you. And it's a really strong feeling of connection. We have the Nine of Bows, some sort of resistance that has gone away, some kind of thing that was in the way that is no longer in the way, and there's a need to like discuss it or have something about it. With the Five of Bows in the reverse, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. There's something that has changed. And then we have the Balance card in the reverse. So this is like the Temperance card, and it's called Balance, which the Temperance card is a card of balance. Interesting. So it's coming in the reverse. It's like disturbing some of the silence and the calm, but replacing it with something way better. Replacing it with something that has a sense of resolution to it. I don't know. There's something good going on here, but it's not necessarily conclusive. It's not stable, which is to say it's going to keep changing. But your person is shying away from the edge in some way. Yeah, there's this ending for them. So there's an ending for them. Something is like they see forever. Something happened. They had a dream. Something happened here, and some of them did have a dream. They're shying away from the edge, but they're also, so we have the beginning and the end here. And we also see that it's almost like it goes in this order. So it goes 0 through 21. So the cards of the major arcana start with 0, which is in this deck the White Heart. It's also the Fool. And it's in 21. So there are a total of 22 cards. 21 is the World, or in this deck it's the Wide World. What we have here, so after you finish, after you come to some sort of completion, then you start a new journey. The Fool's journey begins with that Fool card, the 0. And so here it feels like it's a matter of finishing up something, coming to a conclusion, coming to a realization, but then being unwilling to move into the next, what would be the obvious next direction. So it's like freezing up. It's freezing up, but not being like willing or able to take a step forward is what it feels like. There is something that they've been working to let go of, something that your person has been working to let go of, but it corresponds with something that you've been working to let go of as well. And so there's this tendency to just want to, like, to get frustrated and just want to cut it off and just call the whole thing off and just, resist the urge to do that. It's like I was telling somebody in a personal reading the other day, if you make a decision to cut ties, to cut the emotional tie, it can create some physical problems for you, and then the tie has this tendency to grow back. So it ends up being more trouble than it's worth, and you never really get any peace from that, because from my experience, from the moment you cut it, things begin to be difficult, and then you have to, like, the whole process of it growing back is a healing process in and of itself, and you are not relieved from the other healing process during that. So I don't know that I recommend it. The tie is there for a reason in this case, and it will grow back, it will regenerate. So the Keeper of Boons here, Keeper of Boons is, this is about not knowing if they are, it's like the King of Earth. It's like the King of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. This is not knowing if they are worth or if they are deserving of something. So it's your person kind of having some self-doubt on the edges. Maybe you too. I feel like it's, if it's you though, it's in a work environment, or it's not related to this situation in quite, you're not experiencing it quite the same way as your person is, relative to this situation. So there's something here where they're feeling a little bit like there's a change in the balance. There's something that has shifted here. That's why I can already feel that that's part of what this new thing is, this wrinkle, this bump, this bubble, someone called it. So the Keeper of Visions, here's the Keeper of Visions in the reverse. That's the second king energy that we have in the reverse. And then we have the Strength card in the reverse as well, looking to utilize your strength actually, but just resulting in essentially, this is them triggering themselves. Okay, so when they are very concerned about appearances. We see this time and time again. They're very concerned about appearances. Right now, their strength is in kind of, it ebbs and flows, and right now it's kind of in this ebbing sort of state. They would like to utilize what they think of as your strength, but what is really strength from the union itself, which is available to both of you. But what happens when they try to access that the way that they've accessed it in the past? It's through fantasy, it's through thinking about it, and they are experiencing a lot of pain when they think about it, and it's nostalgia, but it causes them to realize there's more that they need to be doing. They are still not out of the woods with regard to some healing that they needed to do. That's the Liar card, which is the equivalent of the Devil card. So looking a little bit more deeply into what's happening with this energy of this bubble or this blip, and it really does, I feel that too. So I absolutely, I feel all these things that happen in the energy, but I'm a little bit insulated from it because I've chosen to leave the door open. I chose to take the advice. I'm like, listen, if I am part of this collective and I have the advice at my fingertips, I will of course take it if I can. And so, yes, I've decided to leave the door open, and if my person wants to walk through it, they have the opportunity to do so. Until then it's about working on what we need to be working on, and whatever that focus is at any given time. Oh, let's see. I dropped a card, but it fell face down. So yeah, I feel the blip as well, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's one of those things you kind of roll past it, and I get the sense that it's that need to control the outcome once again. It's coming from them. The energy of this is coming from your person. That's why it seems like it's an affront or a little bit strange to you, or like you weren't initiating it. You have the Queen of Stones. There's the thought of reaching out, making themselves a little bit more vulnerable, but once again, it's kind of easy for them not to. They're in the habit of not doing it, but they really, I think the reason that they entertain the thought is that they would like to receive a little bit of that strength that they think feels like it comes from you, so they associate it with you, and they would like to take part in it. We got the Three of Visions here. Oh, they want to tell you about what's going on in some aspect of their lives. They have some regret. It's regret that has to do with you, but it goes beyond that. There's something that and I get that this is like a thing that and they realize that you might know this. So we've seen this before. This is some kind of thing that felt like they were taking it really hard. They were having a really hard time being able to explain this thing to you. And the truth of the matter was, you're probably not even going to be all that surprised by it. They now recognize, yes, you are probably aware of that. They've had a little bit of a course correction, a little bit of something that honestly makes them not so bad today. So I know we've had a lot of readings that said, hey, if you've got this person trying to reach out to you, be aware. You're going to experience setbacks. It's going to be, a botched apology, things like that. I don't see that so much in here. We have the Lover's card and we have the Six of Boons. So the Lover's card is feeling a little bit less star-crossed than usual, a little bit more harmonious. And the Six of Boons is that feeling that when you do interact with them, that they have some idea how they need to be treating you, which has been something that's a big question. Oop, what did I drop now? Okay. Had another one fall out, but it fell face down. I can't believe I woke up late. That almost never happens. Okay, so the Child of Challenge, this is about learning. It's about bringing the lessons home and then being able to deconstruct them enough to be able to use them. But here with the Six of Visions, it's more than just that. It's being able to say, here's what I've done in the past that maybe led to some of these undesirable outcomes, or it led to the outcomes. I'll just put it that way. So that some things might have seemed undesirable at the time, but might not actually be. With the Child of Visions, there's this sort of fresh, new springtime. There's that springtime again. Something wanting to blossom. Where I am right now, the weather has been very, and I think this is probably true for a lot of people, it's been variable. A lot of change in the weather, a lot of instability in the weather. And so what we have here doesn't necessarily, sometimes it feels like summer, and then other times it feels like winter, and you never really get a chance to figure out whether spring is coming. So this is the feeling of like you would get in a traditional sort of springtime, and in a place that gets spring. But that's, again, this isn't about a timing thing. This isn't about the time of year. It's really about something coming back, something growing back, something blossoming. But there is still resistance on your person's part to allowing that really to happen. Some of that resistance has fallen away, and this is like one of those moments of clarity that we sometimes see. So we have the Forge. This is like the Temperance card in the reverse. So we have another version of the Temperance card coming out in the reverse, and it's a strong sense that they are not feeling whole yet. They're not feeling like they have all their answers yet, but they're learning how to walk through the door, and now they have a decision to make about whether they're going to do that. So the Ace of Boons is that door that we leave open so that your person can walk through it. That's the advice that keeps coming through, and this is them learning how to walk through a door. Whether or not they learn that with you is a different story, but that is still an important thing for you. Sometimes going out and getting those lessons somewhere else is still very valuable. So here's something where they're learning to trust themselves, basically. That's kind of what that comes down to. And then here with the Two of Challenges, this is about coming to a decision. They need to decide how they want to handle this energy. So there's this energy of wanting to communicate with you, of wanting to share some things with you. They want to talk to you about something that's happening with a third party situation. And it's like you're the only person they have this hunger to talk to, but they're not really sure. Not really sure, what they want to do. This is a blip that feels like something that might have happened, around the end of January, early February, where it started to seem like every reading was about communication. This one, they haven't specifically come out and said that, but that is a little bit what it feels like. And it's a warm feeling, so that if you have that communication, it's not a bad thing. So let's look at the focus for you, given what's on this table here. Where's the best place to focus for you? All right, Five of Vessels in reverse. Think about the things that still constitute opportunities for you, in addition to, in light of things maybe that haven't gone so well. You're moving on a trajectory of greatness and happiness with the Six of Bows here. And abundance is exactly where, that's what it says here on the card. And that is exactly the word that was coming to mind as I was saying that, the trail of greatness. It feels like a cycle of abundance. So it's an increase. It's a cycle of increase. So you'll see it more of kind of everything coming your direction. And the better job you're able to do with projecting that abundance, the better job you're going to be able to do in this cycle of receiving it. But every cycle of abundance is an opportunity for you to fine-tune your approach to manifestation, to abundance. It's, a lot has been said on that here in the recent years. We had a lot of different ways to put these concepts, but I feel like, and it's really about the attitude that you bring. That's at the root of all of them. With the Four of Stones here, there's something that needs to be, you need to zoom in and really focus on something that is not a new, exciting idea, not something you want to be distracted by. There's definitely a need for you to remain undistracted and focused on something. And I feel like it's probably somewhat clear to a great number of you what that thing is. And it might be your job, might be something that's happening with a family member, but there's an area of focus where you almost have no choice but to know that you need to focus there. But you are now a little bit at odds with whatever the principles are around that focus. So that's interesting. And it feels like it comes from this situation. Like you've had your eyes open to something that feels unrelated. Let's see. So this is the Two of Challenges that got pushed up. Put those back. And then we have the Seeker of Visions. That's water energy. It's about like, it's almost the feeling of you're working on something and you're so focused and so balanced that you almost don't want to receive the energy of this person when you receive it. But once again, you almost can't resist it. So with the Four of Visions here, that's that feeling of not being able really to resist it. But here's the reason why. So this is the Council of Animals. It is like so this card comes out in almost every reading we do, if not every reading. It's the Judgment card coming out here in the reverse this time to talk about how there are certainly some things here that still need to be rectified before they can be resolved. You know this, but some of these things are like nagging. And so you're going to feel like this desire to move forward, but also this realization that there are some nagging and old things to deal with before you go there. However, okay, I guess we won't use that one. With the Ten of Challenges coming out, you're going to find yourself in a different position when it comes to resolving these things that seem like nagging old problems. We've seen it as like scraping out the sides of the barrel. You're going to find that you're a different person as you deal with it, and the answers will come from within. So once again, strangely, I don't know if it's strange. I think we have patterns where a card will come out meaning something for a while, and maybe it's a non-traditional meaning. So this card, this is the oldest one, and it is the equivalent of the Hierophant. This one feels like it feels like following the advice that comes from within rather than the advice that comes from somewhere else. And that's a big concept that's been coming out, particularly around this Hierophant card in several decks. I mean, because I use different decks every day, and sometimes we see the same card come out in different decks. That's part of what makes it interesting for me. It just seems very consistent. The concept is very consistent, and yet that's not always what the Hierophant card means when I pull it for this collective. But it is what it's meant lately. Okay, so I put the Ace of Spells back in there, but it's back, so it does want to be used. Anytime I get to a card that feels like it's not supposed to be part of it, and I put it back, I always open up to, if this is the one that I'm supposed to bring back, then please bring it to me and I will use it. So it's both of these. It's the Ace of Spells, which is like, it's fire energy. So it's like the Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Nine of Challenges. Watch out for situations where you're tripping over your own feet and basically becoming, you're kind of in your own way. It's not from poor intention, it's just poor planning. So this is much easier to address than some sort of undermining yourself for bad reasons that you're not aware of. I don't get that so much here, as you weren't thinking ahead. So it's an opportunity to just kind of make sure you do think ahead. Here with the Nine of Challenges, though, in the reverse, this is an opportunity. So it's an opportunity similar to what we've seen in your energy here recently. You have a clarity about you, and the Nine of Challenges in reverse is about not having anxiety that will often show up. So this energy of the being able to handle difficult things. And we do have some cards that showed up there. That energy of being able to handle difficult things definitely extends to you as well. Okay, so we have the Seven of Spells. You confidently move forward. Yeah, you confidently move forward to address some lessons that have been left kind of not quite finished all the way. But I get the sense here that with that, you really do scrape out that barrel a little bit more and get at those lessons. And it's a pleasant experience. This isn't something that, I mean, it might feel like it takes too long, but you also aren't exactly going to care. I feel like you're having a good time while this is happening. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So like I said, it's a soulmate snapshot. So it's a little bit quicker of a reading, and it doesn't have an extended, but I wanted to do this rather than go ahead and leave the day blank, because especially when I saw all the notes about the blip in the energy, the bubble, what is this new feeling? Well, it's coming from them. And we see that here now. We see that they've got some realizations going on. You just sit back and do you. You've got some pretty amazing things going on here, and good energy going. So with that, I will wrap this up and then look forward to seeing you again in tomorrow's reading.